What needs to happen between now and before we head to Spain is we need to raise a little bit more support. We've had a lot of support come in this last week, actually, but we probably need to raise about $2,500 in monthly support, monthly committed, faithful support. The next thing would be all the paperwork in terms of getting to the field, all the legal stuff, collecting all of our documentation, applying for visas. The turnaround time for that, especially in a COVID world now, you just don't know how long the governments are going to take to process paperwork. The estimated time for the Spanish government to approve of visa applications is 2 to 4 months once they've been submitted. So that's kind of a prayerful thing that we're doing thoughtfully and trying to do with wisdom. Our prayer and hope and the goal that we're working towards is at the earliest late spring, early summer. It's hard to set a timeline on when you'll be fully supported. And so our goal is to raise funds and have monthly committed supporters and be working towards that goal. But we know and we just accept the fact that you kind of, as missionaries and hopefully as anyone who follows Jesus, you just place your life in God's hands and just trust him with the time frame and what's going to happen.
I think just the unknown and the stress that goes into all of that fun dance of figuring out the time frame and logistically getting everything translated into Spanish, making sure all the documents are not notarized, and all those kind of fun little things, navigating some of those, getting birth certificates from various places because our children were born in the UK. All those fun, unique experiences that missionaries have that the average person, which we still are, have no idea how to do those. So filtering through government websites to try to figure out the right process, what we need, when do we need that, what can we do now, is kind of constantly where we're at, and figuring out how to navigate that well and discern the right timing, and then also have an element of faith in there and just trust the Lord that he's going to help us in that as well, and that we can leap forward in certain areas. The time frame that GEM has for us to serve is sometimes country dependent upon the length of the visa that you have for that country. So I think moving into Spain, we're looking at a 3 to 4 year visa. On the GEM side of things, like the corporate side, there is a requirement that we would come stateside once every 5 years for some sort of furlough. The length of time is kind of case specific on, do you have kids that need to get back for schooling, or do you just need to take a whole year in the States? So a lot of that is very case dependent, but there is a lot of oversight on the GEM side of going, you guys have been in this country long enough, you need to take a break, or you need to touch base with your supporters. So yeah, there are like loose parameters that then become case specific to each missionary's need.
One of the things that you don't realize until you're in missions is there's government things like Social Security and visas that mean you need to be out of a country and back in the U.S. for a certain duration of time within every 4 or 5 years to meet like Social Security requirements and stuff like that. So, and some of those are cumulative time frames, and some of those are consecutive time frames. Yeah. And so those agreements can be case specific with different countries in the U.S. And so you come back when you can, you come back when you have the funds to come back. And depending on like, if you're a family with kids like we are now, you can come back during the summers when they're on break and terms, that fit with their school year and stuff like that. So our missions organization makes sure that we are obeying by the, doing what we need to do for the government and for laws and stuff, but also are very comfortable with, how is this going to fit you guys as a family and what you're doing in ministry. Can your ministry allow you to step off the field for a year, or it doesn't need to come back for 2 months?